Welcome to the Travel Tea, everyone, and welcome to you, Larissa. Thanks for being with us today.
Hi. Thanks for
Hello.
having me.
Do you want to introduce who you are in JFC, maybe?
So I'm Larissa. I am the deal and content manager for the EU, and I've been working at JFC. I think this is my 4th year, coming up to my 5th year potentially.
You're an OG.
Yeah, it feels like it now.
Okay, so
Yes.
today we're going to talk about one of the most exciting times in the aviation world and in the flight finding world, which is Black Friday.
Yay!
Yay! How many Black Fridays have you gone through, Larissa?
This must be my 5th this year.
Are you excited about it?
I'm always excited. I kind of find there's like a weird excitement that comes with having to work so intensely for such a small period of time. Like it's very adrenaline filled. It scares a lot of people, but I actually really enjoy it. I find it's really fun.
What makes it so intensive on the Jack's side?
It's just the fact that we're kind of having to react to whatever the airlines are doing on a day-to-day basis. That's this case every single day. We just react to what the airlines are doing, and it's up to us to get across or have a good understanding of what they're doing to be able to translate that for our members. But I think particularly for Black Friday, because so many airlines are doing things, launching sales, launching discount codes, telling us what they're doing, it's very intensive because from the minute you log on until the minute you log off that day, you've been on airline websites scouring to make sure that the sales that they say that they're having are actually worthwhile. Or you've been creating content and sending emails out to our members. So there's not really a minute in the day that's wasted on a Black Friday because there's just so much we have to get through. We look at, I would say, over 100 airlines. So that's a lot of airlines that we're having to check, right? On almost a day-to-day basis, especially when you come into the Black Friday week. So it's just a lot of work that we have to do. But as I said, I find it really fun.
It's stressful, but you get into this routine of checking all of the airlines multiple times a day, because you never really know when they're going to drop a sale. They might be dropping a sale at 7 in the morning or at 2 p.m. or at 11 p.m. And so there's always someone in the team checking this big spreadsheet that we have and just checking 3-4 times a day and being okay, still nothing. Oh, here we go. Here they are. They're responding to this airline, or, oh, here they are starting this type of airline sales. Who's coming next?
And the thing is, it's not even one day anymore. It's you never know when the airlines are going to start in November. I feel it used to be more on Friday, and now as the years go on, it stretches closer and closer to the start of November. And then you've got the Travel Tuesdays and the Cyber Mondays, and then it sort of merges into Christmas. So come November, it's just one massive sale fiesta.
Well, that's what I was going to say too. How long does this chaos last? Because Black Friday is one day, but now you have Tuesday and Wednesday and there's so many sales. What does it look like for the team?
Well, honestly, it depends on the year. It really changes year on year, and to me, the more I do this, the more I understand that the airlines all know what each other is doing. They all seem to be in cahoots, and they all decide collectively, okay, we're all going to launch our sales 2 weeks before Black Friday this year. That happened not last year, the year before. I remember particularly there was quite a long drawn out sale period. Last year though, I think it was mostly concentrated to just the week of Black Friday, so from the Monday onwards. Black Friday itself tends to be the day that's still, I guess, the one that has all eyes on it. So if an airline is going to do a sale, it's most likely going to be on Black Friday if they haven't already launched it a week or 2 weeks before, depending on if they want to get a jump on their competitors. And the Cyber Monday and Travel Tuesday of it all, to me, I just feel like it's all one sale period. It's just an extension of Black Friday to me. Some airlines will have specific sales on the Monday or the Tuesday, but a lot of them will just carry it on. So they'll be Black Friday sale starts on the Thursday or the Friday and doesn't end till the Tuesday or the Wednesday or something like that. So that happens quite a lot as well.
Right. And I guess how quickly would a traveler need to be prepared to pounce on a flight or an offer? Are there any tips for someone that's like, I might be looking to book, a discounted flight or a sale flight on Black Friday? Like, how do they prepare? Because they, I guess, don't really know what's happening.
It's really useful to have in mind what kind of route that you want to get. And then we've actually been monitoring the flights for over 9 years now. And we've listed what almost every airline has done over Black Fridays. And you can kind of get an idea of what they might do this year.
One really interesting thing that I would add is that people normally expect one sale per airline. But as Larissa mentioned before, for the past couple of years, some airlines have been doing like multiple sales. So a lot of the times they start with unannounced sales. So they do a lot of drops and we're like, what's happening here? And then like either on the same day or the day after, or like a couple of days later, they announce their first official Black Friday sale. And then what's interesting is that within that like sale period, they have more drops. They add more and more routes onto the sale. And sometimes they even start another sale within the sale. So they might say our 2025 Black Friday sale and then like the realest Black Friday sale, or like, yes, like the actual sale of the Black Friday sale. And then, yeah, Travel Tuesday, Cyber Monday. So if you have a route in mind and you see it coming into your inbox at a really good price, I would say buy it. But if you don't have a route in mind and you see a couple of interesting routes coming in from like the beginning of November, mid-November especially, then wait a couple of days before buying, because you never really know. Like some airlines just drop their prices more and more and more as the days go on.
Wow, sounds chaotic and confusing. And like, I don't want to do that kind of admin. So I'm glad you guys are doing it on my behalf. What is the most like unusual Black Friday destination you've come across? Or maybe you're like, this wasn't even on my radar, but now this route is like a great deal.
Uruguay. We hardly ever see Uruguay, and just like any cheap flights to South America are really cool because they don't come up that often, but Uruguay is one that we never see. So that was pretty special.
I was just going to mention Pegasus because what they dropped, not last year, but the year before, like some Central Asian route, Kyrgyzstan, Georgia, Kazakhstan, they were all in like from Europe around like 50s, 80s, 90 euros return, which is insane. It would be like a, I don't know, like a 10-hour nonstop flight all the way there. Of course, you would have like the stop in Istanbul, but we would usually see flights to like Kyrgyzstan or to Kazakhstan in between 200, 250 euros up to like 400 for some departures. And then suddenly, back 2 years ago, Pegasus dropped this like huge sale, and all of these incredible, rare, quirky routes were at 70 euros return. And by the way, Christy and Cash, two of our navigators, actually bought one of those Pegasus flights during Black Friday and ended up traveling around Kyrgyzstan by horseback in the late spring last year. And yeah, and I think they paid something like 75 euros return, which is insane.
Wow. And as navigators yourselves, are there any routes or flights you're going to be looking out for personally or crossing your fingers for?
For me, it's almost always the same answer. It's Australia for obvious reasons. We have been lucky enough over the past few years to see a lot of airlines competing and making the routes cheaper between the UK and Australia. Obviously, it's a really popular route, so it makes sense that a lot of airlines are competing on it. But I'm planning on going back next year for a holiday, so I'll be on the lookout for that in particular. And I guess because of that, I'll be looking at airlines like BA or Cathay Pacific or Qatar if I'm really lucky, or Singapore, the really nice airlines that go between here and there. That's what I'm hoping for. Something really nice and cheap from them.
Fingers crossed, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Lauren, you wrote the Black Friday article this year, and tell me if I'm wrong, but the Chinese airlines have never really done a Black Friday sale, right?
Yeah, no, they don't usually, but there was one last year that did one. Because the airlines are quite reactive to what other airlines do, I'm very interested to see this year if any of the others are going to follow suit. I think that's definitely one to keep an eye on.
Especially for flights to Australia.
Yes,
Like,
absolutely.
if you're flexible with the airlines, it would be so interesting to see a huge Chinese airline kind of snowballing sale one after the other.
Mm-hmm.
I am hoping to see those non-stop Atlantic Airways to the Faroe Islands from Paris. Because
Nice.
I learned how to drive a van this summer, and I wouldn't mind doing another RV adventure next summer in the Faroe Islands for like a couple of days. You're all invited.
I would come with you.
If you guys plan it, I'll just show up.
Atlantic Airways is a tricky one because their fares don't show up on Google Flights. You have to actively go on their website to see their fares. Usually, sometimes they show up, but not often. So it's really handy having us who just spend all our days checking the websites, going through all the fares, and we'll only send you the good ones, basically.
Yeah, there are some airlines that don't show up, so it makes them a little bit trickier to like pass through the sale. But luckily, we've been doing it for a few years now, so we understand the tricks of the trade there.
Exactly.
We've been seeing a lot of airlines doing silent sales, like quiet sales, at the end of October, beginning of November, before actually dropping their Black Friday sale. And sometimes their quiet sales are actually better than their actual Black Friday sale. So we know that this happens from like now on, and so we're already keeping an eye out for any unusual activity from the airlines. So I would say probably right now is a good time to sign up, not to miss any, actually even to just keep up with the information flow, because it can be quite overwhelming to sign up right before Black Friday and start receiving so many emails. So yeah, just to have an idea, and like especially if you don't have a specific route in mind, it could be quite good to like have an idea of like, okay, which airline should I expect a sale from, or like hope for a sale for, and how do I read an email, and how do I find these routes, you know?
So signing up as soon as possible, I guess, is kind of the suggestion, because you get a lay of the land, you get a feel for kind of how the emails work, the flights work. And like to your guys' point, you can start picking those routes earlier so that when those emails start coming in, or when those notifications start coming in, you kind of know which ones you want to act on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
so.
Airlines all want to have sales during this period between October, November, and Christmas. And they're just finding all these different ways to repackage it. Because I remember last year, there was quite a few that sort of released statements that distanced themselves from Black Friday, kind of like they thought they were almost too good for it. Like, you know us, we don't do Black Friday sales, but then they ended up having a sale anyway, and they'd call it something like a winter sale or a birthday sale that was also launched on Black Friday. So yeah, I think all the airlines are going to have a sale in some shape or form.